Miss Cinema, Miss Cinema.
It's a horrible allegation, and it is a lie.
Hey buddy, episode 13, Simple Politics with the Idiots.
Who you calling idiots, man? I'm the
bro,
genius here. I'm the producer.
Yeah, good job
Yeah.
editing.
Actually, this went anyway. So we got a lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. We have as I
Wow,
almost
good job. Great job.
as I
Solid.
die
Keep
on
going.
stream.
Perfect. Combo.
Okay, we've got a lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of things Biden mentioned in his first address to Congress to talk about. We also have to talk about Elise Stefanik and good old Liz Cheney, who is trying to get the party off of the Trump drugs, if you will. We also have to talk about an interesting development in Japan. They are, I guess, we'll start off with that first. Apparently, I forget, Philip Morris is planning to pull out of the
Philip
company.
Morris.
They're planning to pull out of the country within the next 10 years, which is interesting because a lot of Asian countries are known for having huge influence of tobacco companies, especially in Lower East Asia, Indonesia in particular, where you can... where you can...
Andy, you're a racist motherfucker. You're
No,
saying
it's
Asians
true.
smoke too much.
No, it's
Andy's
true.
a racist. He
There's
said
a
they're
huge-
smoking too
How?
much.
No. Okay, no. It is very true that of a lot of countries, mostly, it's okay, in all fairness, it's mostly Southern Asia, like Indonesia, Thailand.
Very similar to Japan. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Very similar.
Southern one. Okay, Andy, listen.
You
Andy's saying that
SJW
the Asians
motherfuckers.
smoke too much.
Okay.
All right.
Thank God Andy didn't just use like terms like them Orientals.
All right. So anyway, Philip Morris within the next 10 years is saying they're planning to pull out of the country because it's not profitable for them. You two motherfuckers
I didn't
take
see
it
that.
away.
I mean, I didn't see the part where they said it wasn't profitable for them, but I know Japan has pretty strict smoking guidelines. Kind of like we adapted here where can't smoke inside. Except they take it a step further than we do.
How do they take it a step further?
I think it's not allowed in most public places even. Like here you can still find like, those cheap dive bars and I guess in public, but I don't think they allow that in Japan even.
Well, like even in most colleges, they have smoking areas, and technically speaking, you're not allowed to smoke in public areas. However, I mean, when I was at LCCC, I saw many people smoking outside of the smoking area.
Yeah, but they had those designated smoking areas. I don't know the specifics on Japan. I don't know if those smoking areas don't even exist.
Yeah, and we also don't know how strictly enforced those rules are. We don't know a whole bunch of other stuff. But I'm for that. I mean,
100%.
I make no.
I mean, we're doing something similar. I mean, there's already talks about banning menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars. They already hit vaping. They'll probably hit them again.
I mean, we were having a conversation about this yesterday. I've always said it's much better to regulate where you can smoke more than what you can smoke. Even though, like, yes, technically smoking menthol is worse for you, but smoking cigarettes all over is bad no matter what. Well,
Steve, how do you feel about if menthol cigarettes are banned tomorrow? Completely gone.
I'm not going to lose much sleep over it. I know I used to smoke those.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand like why they want to do it. I mean, it's obviously the healthier, smarter reason to, but the whole we're in a free country and whatnot.
Well, that's true, but public health is lacking in America, unfortunately. And it's lacking in America for a lot of reasons other than smoking. But as a now non-smoker...
You still socially smoke. I've seen you, you bastard.
The cigars, I don't count the cigars.
Oh!
What about when they banned the flavored cigars? How do you feel about that?
I don't do flavored cigars.
Comment in the comments section. If you still smoke cigars, does that technically count? Or if you smoke one from your brother, does that also count?
Every time you see Steve in public smoking, hit him.
Yes. Punch him in the face.
All right, so I am really not going to lose much sleep over it. I'm
100% for it. I definitely think it's kind of it outweighs our freedom to smoke.
As far as like, oh, it's a free country. Well, why don't we all just like go and rape and murder each other then? If we need to have
very extreme
laws.
Yeah, a little extreme.
I know that was a little bit of hyperbole there. I get it. But
public health should technically come first in this sense, because smoking doesn't just affect the smoker; it smokes everyone around.
Yes.
And as far as the menthol goes, like, can you make your own menthol cigarettes? Like, how do you?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I never really decided to make cigarettes.
To take tobacco and make your own menthol, like non-menthol tobacco, and make it menthol. I've never done that personally. When I was in college, I used to roll my own, but I imagine that wouldn't be difficult. I mean,
I guess not, but it all depends on. I think it's going to be a thing that's going to get people to quit.
I always used to do the snaps where you bite down, and that would do the menthol. I get I don't know. You'd have to, where do you buy menthol at? So my point is, it's really only going to affect the companies that produce menthol cigarettes. It's not going to there's not going to be like an underground menthol arena. Or
going to be like
maybe there will be.
Maybe a whole new meth. It's going to be a big drug ring for menthol cigarettes.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. If anything, maybe it leads us into a better healthcare system. If more people even quit smoking and then we start leading towards a free healthcare system, they can't use that excuse as we have so many smokers on the system.
I'm looking up menthol flavoring right now, and most of it, for some reason, is for beverages.
Yeah, but
they do have.
But that's the thing, though.
Juice. They do have menthol vape juice.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about as well. Is that they did hit vaping in the U.S. already with the online sales. If they go further, then you're not going to be able to buy any flavors in store as well. And menthol is considered a flavor.
Yeah.
So if you want to roll your own, it's not like you could buy pre-packaged menthol mixed tobacco, because that would still be a banned product, most likely. You're going to have to just smoke full flavor tobacco. And people who are diehard menthol smokers, some of them probably will switch, but others may quit as well.
Yeah, or maybe they'll like I don't know how else would you infuse the menthol in your own tobacco? Like get liquid menthol, mix it with the tobacco, and then let the tobacco dry out. How would you do that?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Possibly.
I'm sure there's a process out there, I guess. But yeah, for the most part, I think this will still get people to quit. Because at the same time, some people, if you could do that easily, I imagine some people will do that. Some people will go to Reds, but there will be a handful more who just say, fuck it, it's time for me to quit.
Yeah,
or
that'll
will they
probably
just
happen.
will they just replace it with something else? Will they start like something something that cools down your mouth when you inhale the smoke? Will they replace it with?
I doubt it, because it can't be a flavor. That's the thing. That's why they're going after menthol. It's a flavor, and they're going after flavored cigars. Not that they're the most popular thing, but they're getting hit also, and that's why vaping will probably get another hit on the local level.
I mean, I could see this is kind of weird. I like menthol, but I don't like flavored cigars. So I can honestly see this kind of making a lot of people cigar smokers over cigarette smokers. Now, there's a whole, like, the CDC will tell you that there really is no difference in nicotine intake between smoking cigars versus smoking cigarettes. There are some cigar smokers who will try and tell you, oh yeah, it's way healthier. I guess if you don't inhale, then you may have an argument. But I've slightly inhaled cigars before.
I think everyone just would semi at some point by just naturally puffing on a cigar. You're gonna just kind of inhale every now and then too.
Yeah.
I mean, so the whole thing is to deter people and kids as well, because if you're a 14-year-old, you're not going to want to vape tobacco flavor. You want to vape like cotton candy.
Yeah, you want to vape the flavor. It's like cigar smoking and vaping and cigarettes. It's like it's a little different for everyone, but there's always a preference.
But in the end, like, I don't see it as like they're taking away our freedoms. It's just more of a way better health option.
I wonder if if anyone's ever done surveys. I'm pretty sure somebody has, about whether or not the majority of cigarette smokers are menthol versus non-menthol.
I think they did for America. I think
I imagine somebody has.
I think they said menthol right now is somewhere between 30 or 49, somewhere in that range.
30 to 49%.
Yeah.
Well, throughout the life of a smoker, throughout a smoker's life, they may bounce from non-menthol to menthol, from non-menthol to menthol.
That could be true. Yeah, I think just the recent numbers said it's definitely under 50% are menthol smokers. I think the majority of them are red.
I used to do the shorts, and like the red shorts. Then I decided to do the blue shorts, and then my friends.
Well, let's not look at your case. I'm assuming when you smoked, you were legal to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different. This whole thing is mostly focusing on kids. Like, if you're a 15-year-old, you probably would find a menthol cigarette a bit easier to smoke than like Marlboro Red.
I don't know. I've never really been friends with any that smoked that as a kid.
Wow, what are you trying to say about kids who smoke? What type of families are they from?
When I started smoking, I smoked.
Actually, they were pretty rich, pretty damn rich. Some of them.
So you're saying their
Some of
parents
them-
are their fault? They have bad parents?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, you're Steve, criticizing kids who smoke. You saying they're terrible.
No.
Well,
as
not
somebody
necessarily
here,
the parents, but
I technically started smoking before I turned an adult, but I was just
That's not the
about to
question.
turn an
I
adult.
understand. Questions are really tough for you to
I
grasp.
can confirm that I started on menthol.
Okay, cool story. The idea was like if you're a kid, you're probably gonna smoke menthol before red.
Yeah, you will.
When you transition to red at some point, but maybe menthol was kind of just the easier way. Let alone vaping. Like I said, if you're gonna vape, you don't want to vape tobacco flavor. You're gonna want to vape, strawberry or some fruity flavor.
Yeah, the one thing I'm guarantee you there's some Gen Z kid out there who started on vaping first, because when vaping first came out, the whole idea was to get cigarette smokers off of cigarettes to vaping.
And that could be a thing where some vapors actually did go to cigarettes at some point. I mean, probably not a huge amount, but nicotine's nicotine.
Yeah. But
I'm fine with, stricter bans on vaping and cigarettes and cigars. I mean, if they banned it from all bars, that's fine too.
yeah. I just better build up a stockpile now.
There's Andy. His whole closet. Just cartons.
Yes.
One thing I do have to bring up, though, the addictiveness of cigarettes. What other things are there that add to the addicting nature of cigarettes?
See, I did bring this up to Andy as well. Cigarettes are made to be more addictive than they were decades ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
They've done they've put so much garbage in those cigarettes that are worse than the menthol. The menthol just gets it addictive. Like, why don't they ban putting the fucking garbage in there that they put in there instead of just the menthol?
I mean,
why don't they do that?
That could be a step too if they thought about it. I mean, why do they have to put random shit concoction in cigarettes if it was just, I guess, tobacco, nicotine, and menthol?
Yeah, they don't just get the.
So Steve will know this because he's smoked cigars every now and then. If you can light a cigarette, put it on the ashtray, and it'll keep going. If you try to do the same thing with a cigar, it won't do it. The properties are meant.
That's not true.
Oh man, he just fucking said you're an idiot.
No, I've done that before. If you try,
if I recall, if I lit a cigarette and then took only a few puffs out of it and let it sit in the tray, like if I'm not mistaken, it would go out at some point.
No, they don't. They really don't.
I mean, some cigarettes I think the majority kind of burn.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've let cigars go for a while, and then you puff them up a little bit. I guess you're right, Andy. I don't know. I don't really think about it. But I know that cigarettes they also have like chemicals that they put in it to, I guess back in the olden days, if you had a cigarette and you threw it, like let's say on a couch, like back in the days when people smoked in the house. Well, people still smoke in the house, but you know what I mean, when it was a regular thing. If you like threw it on the couch by accident and then got up and walked away, it could burn the couch. It might not start a big fire, but it would at least start smoking a lot and start smoldering the
They do that now still.
But they actually put things in cigarettes so that, like, if you accidentally threw the cigarette on the couch...
So you want them to also remove that. You said remove all the junk. So you want cigarettes to burn down houses.
Yeah, because that's...
There it is!
Oh, here we go. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that came out of left fucking field.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have some random shit mix in there. I don't know the whole entire purpose of it, but I don't know. Maybe it is just easier to just say, fuck it, ban menthol cigarettes, let's call it a day, and that's it. Because I'm not going to lose any sleep. I don't give a fuck. They should. Ban it. Everyone's smoking weed anymore now these days.
I really do wish that there was. I really wish all across the board just legal marijuana, recreational.
Andy just wants to
non-rec-
smoke weed in public.
Well, here's the thing. Wait, let me call time out. Here's a good plan for the legalization of marijuana in Pennsylvania. I got a great plan. Here's what happens.
Oh no!
We passed a law that changes the name of the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board to the Pennsylvania Liquor and Cannabis Control Board.
You could have just said substance, I guess, but okay.
And the liquor control, the new PLCCB, as it would be called, could go out, buy farms, start growing marijuana, process it, put it into blunts, put it into gummies, put it into whatever, and sell them at the Liquor Control Board stores. How about that?
Good. Then 14-year-olds can get a hold of that and blaze
No,
it.
14-year-olds can't go into the Liquor Control Board store without a parent.
Okay, so I just want to say, here's a website.
Maybe
I
their
found
parents
from
were
the
cool.
American Lung Association. Here are some chemicals found in cigars or cigarettes: acetone.
Yeah, I know a lot of the
ammonia,
basics.
arsenic, benzene, butane.
Carbon monoxide is a big byproduct.
Yes, formaldehyde. That I can't pronounce off the top of my head. Tar. But yeah, there's a lot of shit in cigarettes that are bad for.
Yeah, I
everyone.
mean, maybe it is just
That are bad
easier
news
to just say
bears.
fuck it, ban menthol cigarettes and just call it a day. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Or do you want them to keep the menthol cigarettes, Steve? You seem to want them to keep them.
No, I
You
want
want-
them to get rid of the menthol. Get rid of all the chemicals. I was just saying that there's more garbage in the cigarettes other than the menthol.
Menthol. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think this is just more the flavor to deter people. Who knows? Maybe once.
Some of those chemicals are specifically in there to have effect on your body so that when it hits you, it's more addicting.
Yeah, so maybe once they ban the menthol cigarettes, they can then start going after those weird fucking concoctions in full flavor.
See, they pulled the wool over our eyes. They said to the tobacco companies, all right, no more advertising with tobacco. So they couldn't, no more commercials, no more ads in color, like a Marlboro can't have like a color ad within like a couple miles of a school or some shit like that. I forget what the exact rules are.
The Marlboro Man.
That Marlboro Man just can't drive around in a cigarette truck and sell cigarettes to kids anymore. What a sad day.
TV was totally off limits, and they pulled the wool over and said, look what we're doing to get rid of all the, we're going to make them stop advertising. And then, people got addicted to them anyway, because while they were doing that, they were making it easier for them to put garbage in the cigarettes to make it more addicting. And I mean, if you think about it, the tobacco advertising laws in this country that we have really don't work. I mean,
but that's why, like I said, I'm fine with them banning menthol cigarettes first before tackling that random mix. They can tackle that mix after.
People don't advertise, that they're a heroin dealer, but people still come and get their heroin. So why would stopping Winston from sponsoring NASCAR? Why would that stop people from smoking Winston cigarettes?
I mean, at this point in time, I mean, everyone kind of knows what a cigarette is. I mean, like, even if you're 15 and you're not a smoker in high school, you've probably seen at least one person in your life smoke somewhere. So it's the advertisements on anything are still kind of weird than sponsorships, but yeah, fuck them. I don't give a fuck about cigarettes. Fuck them all. I just think it's still a right step to ban the menthol first, and then they can go from there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Andy's gonna cry.
You know what? Maybe it
And he wants more people to smoke.
No, I don't.
Smoking age should be 14.
For menthol smokers like me, this might give them a pause to say, maybe we should finally bury this addiction so that
That's what I'm saying. It might be the push to say, okay, I'm done.
I really honestly can't smoke reds. I've tried smoking not even just reds, but like I recently tried silvers and.
But see so that's the thing though. Like if they ban menthol, it might be the push for you to finally say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm saying fuck you, Philip Morris, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, it would definitely be the push for a lot of those 40%ers to finally quit smoking.
And it's overall a good thing. I mean, I don't see any negatives, but I can only imagine how the Republicans are feeling about it because it was Biden who said, let's do this.
Well, that actually leads pretty nicely into Biden's address to Congress. So I watched it. Steve watched it. Pat, I don't think you watched it. But what are your takeaways from it, Steve? What did you think of it?
Well, I mean, he said a lot of bold things. He said health cares are right. But the bottom line is he's got King Mansion in West Virginia that they have to get past everything. And right now he is like a goalie. He's like Dawson from Street Fighter 2 right now. If you remember, he had the long arms and the long legs that could hit the opponent. Well, that's like Joe Manchin now. He's got the long arms and the long legs, just stopping every piece of legislation that could come through. And and we'll see what happens in 2022. But it's going to be very hard to get through if people are ignorant in Ohio, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, and just shit their pants and go with a Republican again. But we need to win like every swing state in 2022 in the Senate, and we need to keep the House in order to get rid of the filibuster and also get rid of the filibuster and then pass the laws that need to be passed, like PRO Act and I believe it's HR 1. If I'm not mistaken, that's the Voting Rights Act. HR 1. I correct me if I'm wrong. If that's the voting rights thing, the George Floyd law, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be hard.
I mean, the most interesting thing I liked, the only real initiative he talked about was the American Jobs Plan, where he wants to invest, I think it's like $1.9 trillion into the American economy, with the main goal of fixing highways, rebuilding bridges, upgrading ports, airports, American transit systems. According to this plan, which I'm reading some details about it, he wants to. This word is so vague. He wants to modernize 20,000 miles of highway and road systems.
I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing if you ever drove through Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it needs it. We need planes, trains, and automobiles, but mostly,
I mean, you got to have your base infrastructure set to really grow, and we let ours kind of crumble.
Yeah, no. Well, it didn't serve anybody's purpose. It didn't serve corporate America's purpose. It didn't have anything to do with gay marriage or abortion, so the social libs didn't give a damn about it. People just figured, oh, well, I'll drive to Philly instead of, taking a train to Philly, which is what most I would imagine in most like the rest of the developed world. There's a lot more train riding and whatnot, but
Yes, in some places, high-speed rail is definitely a thing. There's been, I mean, here in this state, there's been talks for years about having high-speed rail between Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, there's all I should not high speed rail, but a transit system that also would connect to the New Jersey, New York transit system. Because if you go to Matamoros, you can actually take a train from Matamoros all the way to New York City and back again. So there was an idea to go all of the eastern side of the state, and somehow can build a transit system from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia, so that you can also do the same exact thing, which I think would be interesting.
Well, they don't care about us.
They
don't care about. Go ahead.
Okay. They've also and on the West Coast, they wanted to connect Los Angeles to San Francisco and Los Angeles to Las Vegas, which they're actually building that right now. But the project's been holed up here or there. So yeah, there should be high speed rail. As far as
just in general, the trains, like especially in our area, like we have no train service, but like and you know this, Andy.
Really have public anything.
There was train service. There was train service to your college, and there was train service in my college. But here's the thing: in the areas surrounding Philadelphia, man, that's fucking wealthy. They give those people trains all they can. They'll put a train in like a fucking farm field. Okay, because they know people are wealthy and they can get money out of it. But we're working class people up here. Our chest is like, that's where we put the dump. Like, we take the dump on the working people's chest. We're not from, the rich areas. So, that's why the train system. And I will admit, obviously, there's 1 million people in Philly. There's a couple, 2-3 million people around there. I get it that there's less people up here. I understand that. But there's still enough people that we should have at least one Amtrak station somewhere.
Kind of like a port that could connect us to Philly, to New York City, to Pittsburgh. Because, there's like that triangle there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's got to be affordable too. It can't be $145 for a plane or for a train ticket to Philadelphia. Otherwise, you might as well just forget about it.
Sure, they got to think about all that too. A high-speed train that could take you from here to like California would sound kind of cool.
That would be interesting. I forget what the fastest high-speed rail train can go. I definitely wouldn't be as fast as taking a jet, taking a plane, obviously, but it would that would be kind of interesting. But yeah, I am all for fixing high-speed rail. There is one thing in this plan that I kind of find interesting, and this might actually address. It said deliver clean drinking water. Who would have ever thought that would have been a problem in America? The greatest nation.
It would have been.
Earth.
It wouldn't be a problem if you've never been paying attention, because Flint is still terrible, and it was even bad before it became media.
But
and I'm sure they're not the only ones that suffer from really crappy drinking water.
Yeah, God knows how many people out there are drinking poisonous drinking water, and they don't know about it yet. Like, how many people out there are drinking water that's, got lead in it or whatever, and nobody's just reported it yet. You know what I mean? Like, for all I know, there could be lead in the drinking water, and they've known it for, the past 2 years.
Aaron Brockovich is a true movie, and It shows corporations will gladly fuck over anybody for their own interests. And when there's no real repercussions, if you're a business, why the hell would you care?
No.
Well, no, your goal as a business is to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
And when you start getting to the point where you become a corporation, it becomes a matter of investors. So the more dubious of individuals out there will try and cover up anything so that the corporation can make more and more money. It's an inherent problem with capitalism. That's why you have to regulate corporations. It's just that much of an issue. Or just go to socialism entirely. That would be the smart thing to do. But, you know, we don't do smart here in America. This is something...
No, we do what's easiest and cheapest.
This is something in the jobs plan that I've been howling about for years. For those of you who are not aware of this, the internet speeds and the access to the internet here in America is terrible. They want to bring high-speed broadband broadband internet access to at least 35% of the rural areas that lack high-speed internet access, or any internet access for that matter. So that's something that I've been howling about for years. A couple of years ago, there was this idea to get Wilkes-Barre Township, and Plains to go all in together to try and get Google to invest in their their fiber network.
Oh, thank God they didn't do that. You don't deserve it.
And they also the reason why they had to get all a whole bunch of other outlying towns is because the population numbers had to be 60,000. Wilkes-Barre is currently, I believe, sitting at 40. So they wanted to try and do this, and I think I think that would have been a smart plan. People don't realize how important internet access is,
especially today. I mean, your jobs depend on it.
It directly correlates.
Life.
They actually did. I forget if Johns Hopkins University. I remember reading this. The more internet access an area had, the smarter people were. And the reason why is because they can actually, I mean, obviously you can look up information, or they also did a study correlating that better internet access led to better grades amongst children. So this is obviously very important. Maybe if we get better internet access to people out there, we'll stop voting for Republicans. But that's a completely
one can only hope.
Idea. Is there anything? I mean, realistically speaking, is there anything, Steve, that you disagreed with in Biden's speech?
No, I mean, I thought it was. I mean, the speech itself hit more progressive than I thought he would ever give a speech.
He campaigned on kind of a moderate. He's doing a reverse Barack Obama. He campaigned as a moderate, and now it seems like he's going to try and be the next FDR, which I hope happens. This whole finally ending the wars in Iraq, that definitely is a good thing. I can't stand the fact that we're ending those wars like on September 11th. It's like, can we just end them now? Fun idea.
I just want to point one thing out: Afghanistan, not Iraq. But yeah.
Okay.
You said Iraq.
Yeah. Sorry. Do we still have troops in Iraq?
I think we do.
Know. I don't know. I mean, we have troops in every country because we technically have a Marine Corps detachment in every embassy. But other than that, the Marine Corps detachment at the Iraq embassy, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, we will have troops in every country. It just depends on, at this point, how much and how much money we're wasting, or how many troops and how much money we're wasting on it, because we've wasted way too much money on the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and Afghanistan in particular. All right, so I guess we're going to talk about Liz Cheney and Elise Stefanik. So,
yeah.
Steve, I think you know a little bit more than that than I do, so why don't you take that away?
All right, so basically, Liz Cheney, she is the highest-ranking Republican to have voted for him. I can't remember. She may have also voted to get rid of, to strip Marjorie Taylor Greene of her committee spots, but I don't know if she did that. She might have relented. But let's not sit here and kid ourselves. Liz Cheney is a piece of shit.
Of course,
Okay.
she is. She's just trying
Liz Cheney's
to
a piece
break
of
people away
shit.
from the Trump cult.
She's trying
Okay,
to break
Liz-
people. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
Liz Cheney is, and all the Republicans. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, a lot of people like to be like, "All the Republicans aren't all the same." But the fact of the matter is, okay, so Liz Cheney's 96% just like Donald Trump, other than the grab him by the pussy thing. Okay, so she's still a piece of shit. She's not somebody we should really be concerned about. Elise Stefanik is actually, I believe I read somewhere that she actually voted more in line, or excuse me, less in line with Trump than Liz Cheney did. So like, I mean, not to give her any credit, but I believe Andy, check this out. Look at the Equality Act and see what Republicans voted for that. I believe Elise Stefanik voted for the Equality Act.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Elise Stefanik and Liz Cheney, in my opinion, they're both pieces of shit. The Donald Trump wing of the Republican Party has been growing and growing since, especially here in Pennsylvania, since the late 90s. And Donald Trump just he became their adopted father of the right wing of the Republican Party. They're all scumbags. We should not talk about any of them like they're different. I don't care how awesome they think gay wedding cakes are. I don't care how awesome they think abortion is. If they believe that.
I don't care what you say. You and me disagree on this. I don't think you for some reason got in your head that conservatives support gay marriage and transgenders transitioning. They're very shitty about that. Okay, that's number one.
I know. I'm just saying.
There are Republican conservatives who do support it, but either way, I
don't think conservatives support that. I'm just saying.
It's going to be good though for
the entire Republican.
Yes.
If you do not believe that people should make a living wage, you're a piece of shit. I don't care what your opinion on Donald Trump is. Okay. I don't care how much you dislike Donald Trump. If you think that people shouldn't be able to organize a union at work, you're a piece of shit. If you don't think healthcare's right, I don't care how much Donald Trump annoys you, you're a piece of shit. So Liz Cheney's a piece of shit. Elise Stefanik's a piece of shit. All 213 or whatever the number is Republicans in the Congress, including the 5 or 6 that voted for.
Imagine how the Republicans continued to fuck over everybody during the pandemic.
They're all pieces of shit.
Yes,
and that is my opinion on Liz Cheney.
I mean, we could have handled this pandemic a lot better if it actually weren't for Republicans literally being a speed bump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were definitely a speed bump.
Like they are in everything, though. Social progress, happiness, education.
Yeah. That is something that I find kind of stupid is Elise Stefanik is also... Everyone, for some reason, now holds Republicans like George Bush and Ronald Reagan in high regard because they were old school conservatives, whatever the fuck that means. But the fact of the matter is like Elise Stefanik was a staffer in the Bush White House. Yeah, I no longer believe in this idea that there are good Republicans and bad Republicans. No, they're all fucking shitty.
Yeah, they're all speed bumps to life being better.
Yeah.
They get in the way. Kind of
Well,
like neoliberals.
you think... I honestly think Elise Stefanik's probably going to get Liz Cheney's job. I forget what she is in the Democrat...
I wonder how it happened, because when I was looking at it, like, Andy, check this out. What was the vote? Andy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Why?
Hey, Andy, are you there?
Green. You went green for a second. Look this up. What was the vote the last time that they tried to get rid of Liz Cheney? They tried to get rid of Liz Cheney a couple of months ago. What was the vote on that?
Liz Cheney, rid of her. Maybe it's on her Wikipedia page. I'm not 100% sure at the moment. Just keep going.
But I mean, it wasn't close. Like, it got blown out of the water, and she stayed on. So I don't know where they found all these votes for. It's a secret ballot, so nobody will know. If I'm a Republican congressman, I could sit there and say, "Oh, I hate Liz Cheney. We should replace her with Elise Stefanik," and then vote for Liz Cheney and call Liz Cheney and be like on the deal, "Hey, Liz, I said that publicly, but I'm backing you in this vote." You know, they could do that, and I'm sure they do.
Well, there's this... so I kind of find this funny, especially after reading John Boehner's book. But Kevin McCarthy voiced to the public that he no longer has faith in her, which is something I kind of find funny, because John Boehner gave him the fuck you, gave him the middle finger, because John Boehner didn't have faith in Kevin McCarthy, which is the reason why Paul Ryan ended up as speaker. I mean, it could be that situation. It could be Kevin McCarthy is trying to get as many seats as possible for next election. It could be a whole bunch of other things. At this point in speculation, this is my prediction. I think she loses her job. Elise Stefanik gets it. And
it's a safe one. That's a good guess.
Because Elise Stefanik is young. She's the youngest member of the Republican Party in the House of Representatives.
Yep, they might as well just jump on that train now and throw out that old hag.
She's a good as much as you like to hate her or not, she's a decent public speaker. She can at least somewhat get people riled up. She also makes a lot of money. Same thing with...
Republicans do care about money.
I don't want to make this analogy because it's a terrible analogy to make, but Elise Stefanik makes not as much, but close to as much money as AOC does for the Democrats.
Oh, cool story.
Which happens with a lot of the young guys. Wow. They get the money so that the leadership can...
Wow, cool. Wow.
You know, what the fuck? But yeah, that's my prediction. Liz Cheney's fucking out.
Yeah, most likely. Either way, fuck all the Republicans.
The Libertarians are okay.
Okay.
They're also stupid too.
Okay.
They're also stupid too.
So only 61 Republicans voted to get rid of her the last time. They would have to come up with
at least 50 more.
I mean, what's 145 plus 61? So you got 6, 0. I mean, they'd have to come up with a lot of votes in order to...
Did you almost just drop your phone?
No, I had Wikipedia up and it shut off on me. The phone went blank on me. So they would have to come up with, about 100 votes in order to get rid of her. Where'd they get the 100 other votes?
Wherever they want.
Where'd they find them at? Or I'm sorry, they'd need about 50 other votes.
Blackmail.
Where'd they get those at?
Money.
Go
Just pay for them.
Go all Frank Underwood. Just start getting just make people vote in ways they don't want to vote. Steve, what are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know where the 50 votes are going to come from to get rid of her. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it might be a close vote, but everybody's saying that she's gone. I don't know how it's going to happen.
Well, because they're afraid of Donald Trump and they're afraid of the money that they might lose. See, if Liz Cheney gets kicked out of leadership, there's a good chance that she might have a reason to run for president and be the moderate alternative to Donald Trump. At least Stefanik's career is going to be more than fine. She's from a district that strongly voted for Trump, so her supporting Trump is a great idea. I think she is a bit of a sellout because she definitely voted against certain things that Trump voted for or Trump wanted. Just the Republican Party eating itself alive, hopefully. I don't know. You think 2022 is looking good how does this look for the Democrats, Steve?
I think this is all good. Anything that's going to divide the potato party is a good thing.
Yeah, because the Republican Party is pretty united no matter what you do.
It all depends. I mean, I have underestimated people being very ignorant in the past. And
one day Steve will be running.
And the garbage is...
Little Stevie running on up. Little Democratic Stevie.
Yeah, okay.
How's the representative?
But we'll see, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It depends on how ridiculously stupid and awful people are.
That's true. We can't underestimate how stupid people can be.
Yeah.
It does feel better than it did after Obama won, though. And I'll tell you, because the right wing was really, really invigorated. They're not invigorated the way they were in 2000. Because
they lost that Trump clown they got going on. Their cult leader is gone.
Yeah, and also 2024. We'll see how that if Trump's the nominee in 2024 and he gets his ass kicked again. At that point, Republicans are going to be like, okay, maybe he's not the way to go anymore. So we'll see what happens.
So, time will tell.
Yeah. There is one last thing I want to mention. So, Pat, I think I told you this. During the speech, Stephen kept on saying he was turned on.
He was crying.
He kept on saying he was turned on by what Biden was saying. Steve, do you have something to tell us?
I did not say anything.
You could go
plug
this
say that
right now.
Steve did say such things.
I may have said something to the extent of, Biden just made my
pants tighter,
something like that.
Boy, he making you blush.
Would Steve
sweat? Butterflies in the stomach.
Guys, they're expressions of speech. That's the end of it. Okay. All right.
Boy, yeah, Biden ruin Steve over. Words of beautiful elegance.
The only thing I want to know, would Biden be who would be top and bottom? I say Biden on top, Steve's on bottom.
Oh yeah, Steve's the bottom.
Dear God.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of Simple Politics, see you next week.
That was a good episode, everybody. Kind of.
Bye, ladies.
We'll get Steve to take that test.
Yes, we will.